Yep, welcome back to Fan Talk, everybody. I'm David.
I'm Simon.
And it's been a little bit since we put out some content, so we're here to talk about some movies that we've seen recently.
Yeah, let's start off with 1917. It's really building some big awards buzz.
Oh, man.
Won the Golden Globes. It's nominated for Best Picture.
Fantastic. I loved it. I mean, the whole way it was shot was just magical.
Know what I'm upset about? It wasn't nominated for Best Editing.
I know.
You can't tell.
You can't tell. The whole movie looks like one long shot. And we talked about this. There are scenes where you're like, okay, that's where they've done something.
Yeah.
But and there's some points where you have to use your imagination. Like we were saying, there's no way you could have traveled that much time or that much space in 3 hours. But like when they're in the truck, and even though it's like 2 minutes of film, you can use your imagination. That's really several hours that they're driving. But
it's a great artistic rendering of that journey.
Yeah.
And cutting that out to make it feel...
It never cuts away. It's just you're on these characters moving the whole time, and it was done very well.
Yeah, and I went back and watched it a second time, and I was like, okay, there's a cut because they panned away from the characters for a second. Or they passed in the camera, a tree passes between them and the camera. I'm like, that was a cut.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was very impressed. It's definitely a movie to see on the big screen.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, it's fantastic. If you haven't seen it yet, go see that one, and you'll see what all the buzz is about.
Yeah.
Have you seen Bad Boys yet?
I haven't watched Bad Boys yet. I know you have. I should have gone and seen it. I haven't. I love that series, so I'm kind of disappointed in myself.
The 17-year break doesn't feel like that long of a break. I mean, it's right. They're right back there in it. The charisma's back. They're just the style of the movie's back, even though it's a different director now. I really enjoyed it, and I can see now why it's on the second weekend of being number one. It's made over $1 million domestically, $100 million domestically. Yeah, and it's great seeing Martin Lawrence and Will Smith back together again. And I actually went back and rewatched Bad Boys 1 and 2 after I went and saw the third one, ironically. And just the age difference is so striking. I didn't even notice it when I went to go see Bad Boys 3.
You don't. On some of these movies I've watched recently, you don't really notice like how much people have aged. We were kind of doing our Fan Talk 10 and pulling scenes from old movies. And I was just looking at some of these guys and I'm like, oh my God, like... Chuck Norris used to be young. It's like some of these people, you just don't realize how much difference.
But also makes a good sense. And what they did well on this one is the people that were fans of these movies when they first came out in the 90s and the early 2000s for the second one have now gone that much farther in their own life. And so you have these characters which are starting to approach the somewhat retirement age or grandparents' age, and they're incorporating that part of their lives into these movies too. Yeah. And so it kind of gives a nice little feel back to the people that have grown up with these or aged along with these characters anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if you took, for instance, Lethal Weapon movie and replaced the roles of Martin Riggs and Murtaugh. It's like now you're seeing the older guys and younger guys coming up, which is always fun. So.
And as far as the action goes, this wasn't like an end of the world setting or consequences, which has been nice after several years of superhero movies. This is just back to a city, taking care of crime in a city. Yeah, just like
Cops and Robbers,
good old buddy action cop movie. So it was great. Definitely go out and see it if you like either of those two actors or just like the series in general. Picard is out. The first episode's out anyway. The second one will be dropping on this week on Thursday. Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. Watched Next Generation growing up and DS9 and Voyager and all the rest. I was a little concerned at first just because I didn't know what they're going to do with these beloved characters and the storyline and everything else. And as of right now, I am happy. I am cautiously optimistic for what they're going to do with it. They've set up a lot of little threads and seeds that so far I like. I just need to see how they play them out.
Well, and we saw a lot of stuff in the previews, and it's nice actually finally getting an episode where you can kind of see where they're going with it. Like how is the Borg going to tie into this? Obviously, we don't know everything yet, but there's something there, and it's like
light spoilers here, by the way.
How is Data going to tie into this? Okay, well, we're starting to see something. Have some ideas, and definitely for first episode, it leaves you going, ooh, I can't wait for the next episode. I feel like previous Star Trek things, it's taken a little bit for sometimes a new viewer to get into. We've talked about this in the past. Like you have Voyager comes out. First couple episodes, you really just can't get behind it because getting to like Janeway when you're really used to Cisco, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of tough. And then also it takes a lot of these shows, a couple of seasons to really hit their stride. Right. And this really came in like first episode where you're just you're committed.
I'm pretty hooked. I mean,
you're hooked.
There's also the first Star Trek where they just have one lead. It's not an ensemble cast.
It's not a whole ensemble cast. Although I think it's going to change quickly.
I think they're going to add in and they're going to take the time. what I liked about the writing on this is they didn't do like a big exposition dump at the beginning.
Yeah.
They didn't do like, oh, here's this person, here's this person, here's this person. They didn't do any of that. It was like, here's Picard, and here's like, the world that he's now in.
Yeah.
And then here's the journey, beginnings of the journey that we're going to take you on. And it's like, okay, what's next?
Well, and some of the previews and stuff too, he looks kind of old and frail and almost like, man, he shouldn't even be doing this. And when the show opens up, you really kind of see that transition from like, okay, he is really old.
He's like, thinking that he's in his retirement years and like about to just waiting around basically.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh no, he's still got some fight in him.
Yeah, he gets some purpose back in his life, and you see that twinkle back.
Yeah,
you see the old Picard back. So yeah, any kind of Star Trek fan or Patrick Stewart fan, go check it out on CBS All Access.
Yeah.
Box office last couple weeks. 2 weekends dominated by Bad Boys for Life.
Bad Boys for Life.
What you gonna do? And Doolittle has been not doing so well. Doing little.
It's been, and I personally have not seen this movie yet. I've talked to some people who have, and the people that I know who've watched it has said that they actually really enjoyed the movie. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't that slapstick kind of comedy. It was a Dr. Doolittle that actually had some adventure and a storyline to it. That being said, it is not capturing audiences at all.
Now, I think it might be a marketing misfire on some of that too. People going and expecting one thing and it's kind of something different.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it does. I mean, it still has international waters to go test out and make money, which, by the way, due to the coronavirus outbreak in China has shut down their entire theater system for the time being. And so all these movies that were going to be released in China now are not getting released. And so it's going to cause a huge ripple effect on both the release dates when they do release them in China, how their box office is going to perform. Obviously, the human part of that is far more important, but on the movie side of it, it's going to cause some problems.
It's going to cost money. I mean, let's be honest. Let's break it down to dollars and cents. It's going to cost people money.
Yeah.
So.
So speaking of some money coming out, what do you think New Mutants is going to do?
I don't know. I know I'm super excited. I know I'm going to go watch it opening night. I'm going to be that guy that's
if it opens, we
if it actually makes it, I'm going to be there opening night to watch it. I am a little afraid that I have so much expectation for this movie after it was going to come out in 2009 or 10.
No, it was announced as going to production was 2009, and then it's been released several different release dates over the last 2 to 3 years.
We've talked about it in other videos. It's supposed to have been out several times. I mean, I was looking at some movies that I was been watching this week, and like 2 of them actually had previews for that movie before them, and I'm like, wow, this is an old movie.
Yeah.
So we've been waiting a while for it, so there's a lot of anticipation for that it was going to be literally a horror movie. So there's we don't know really what kind of film this is going to be. It's so much stuff has hit the cutting room floor and then went back to it and then back to the cutting room floor. We don't really know what we're going to end up with.
Now with the House of Mouse taking it over, we don't know what the tone is going to be.
I just don't know. I'm excited about it. I'm a little afraid I'm going to go watch it and be really let down. But regardless, I'll let you know.
All right, well, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. Check out our Fan Talk 10. We have a new episode dropping here in the coming days. And see you next time.